that you all kind of came up with as you're hearing these different pieces. The funding piece is such an important part, and in particular, as we start to think about what the solution is moving forward for this community, there may be really important opportunities for philanthropy and local governments together to work together. A lot of our pilots that do have a government component, there is a combination of both philanthropy and public dollars that were part of that. And so the opportunities to learn and think through this, if we start to couple what may be coming down the pipeline with AI, what's coming down the pipeline with less funds for social safety net, there might be some really interesting intersections for us to be bringing partners in our communities together to start tackling what's the answer and solution moving forward in interesting ways. So our last speaker here is, what if we just threw all of this out and said, screw it, we're gonna do this ourselves. So we're gonna have the folks from, or Conrad Shaw from Comingle come up to talk about what could a community-based basic income look like? How could we actually just start to experience a broad-scaled basic income tomorrow without having to be at the mercy of a lot of the folks that we've identified as the bad guys, as either our final, like one of our bigger areas that we could do as a movement, or maybe a starting point so that we can continue to grow our movement. Conrad, do you want to come on up?
Hi, how's everybody doing? Okay, how's this work? Green means go and red means back. Okay. All right. So I saw this meme a few months ago, a play on an old JFK line. It said something like, paraphrasing, we fight for basic income not because it is easy, but because we thought it would be easy. Turns out it isn't so easy to dramatically alter human society. I'm almost a decade into the fight myself. Some of the people in this room have been at it for multiple decades. And the idea has been poking at the human conscience for much longer. And we have come a long way. And it feels like our movement is at a bit of an inflection point right now, doesn't it? What's next for the basic income movement? Will we fizzle out like in the 70s? Will we hit a plateau? Will we continue to grow sort of incrementally? Or will we hit a hockey stick moment and expand exponentially into the mainstream consciousness, maybe even become a reality? If we're hoping and striving more toward the exponential growth outcome, then the question remains, how do we get there? If the government is functioning as an expression of the will, collaboration, and shared humanity of the people, it's an ideal mechanism for delivering basic income. That's why we've all been pushing for legislation. It's the obvious North Star. But I don't think any of you need convincing that our government and politics are unreliable at this point in history. In recent years, we've been largely leaning on philanthropy to push things forward, including my own projects. And philanthropy wields significant power, but it's very top-down, paternalistic, and fickle. Charities, at least founded upon human connection and empathy between everyday people, but it still divides us into an us and them paradigm, the benevolent and the needy. It bisects our shared humanity into disparate experiences. And because it divides us in this way, charity cannot connect people deeply enough to grow basic income to the kind of scale required. So if we can't put all our eggs in these baskets, what other means could we use to get to basic income? Solidarity, grassroots. All of us working and building together, combining our massive human capital. Shared stories and collaboration are humanity's most powerful tools. If millions of us set our minds to something at the same time working together, nothing can stop us. But we all know this. And it all sounds like a nice fairy tale ending, but okay, and then how in reality can we hope to build this kind of community and solidarity power given the giant wall of distractions and barriers that exist for people out here in the real world? That's the question that we've spent the last 5 years trying to build an answer to with Comingle. So here's my co-founder, Josh, with a quick introduction to this tool that we've been building. Feels weird to be like a sort of a tech bro now. This is my tech bro side, but that's where life has led. So yeah, Comingle is a tool to put our money where our mouths are and to throw down for each other in a much bigger, more effective and sustainable way. It's a way to pool our resources to create a permanent infrastructure where a grassroots basic income movement can live, grow, and build the reality we want to see. It's solidarity in an app. Because Comingle will allow people to get or give money based on however their week's income is panning out, we can actually open it up to anyone and everyone who wants to join, and so build a permanent, scalable, universal basic income, funded by the endlessly renewable resource of our shared prosperity and commitment to each other. So we're focusing on making Comingle an easy, automated, transparent, and informative experience. And while the heartbeat and economic resilience of the Comingle community will always be rooted in its members, we're also building in as many avenues as possible for government, philanthropy, and charitable givers to pitch in as well. So here's the plan. Next month, we're turning Comingle on for a handful of our internal team, and we'll be moving real money, creating a real basic income, and troubleshooting all the bugs we find, probably for a few months. When it's working smoothly enough, we'll invite maybe 10 or 20 more people to join us as beta testers for a while, maybe people from this room. Then maybe grow to 50 or 100 for a little while more until we're very confident of the platform's reliability. Next, we're planning a large pilot phase capable of handling up to 10,000 people for at least 2 years, and hopefully launching that pilot by the end of this year. And once we've smartened up the machine enough and learned what we'll need to have in place to scale up our infrastructure, we'll launch the national version of Comingle, open to everybody. Meanwhile, starting sometime next year, we'll couple Comingle's rollout with a national impact campaign of free public screening events for our partner project, the Bootstraps docuseries, which some of you got a sneak peek of last night. And we intend for Comingle to serve as a key call to action at these events as we blast out the word about basic income. So invitations, this is a big swing. And of course, we are inviting everyone here to join us whenever you're willing and able. Here's some ways to think about participating. Sign up for the newsletters at comingle.us and itsafoundation.org to follow along and get updates as we progress so you know when things are happening. If you're able, commit to a monthly donation at ITSA Foundation. For other organizations, please reach out if you are interested in running a next-gen pilot program using Comingle as part of our pilot phase. If you're interested in hosting a screening event next year with us during our impact campaign, or if you have any other ideas for how you want to collaborate with us. We're building these as tools to the movement, and we're trying to give people ways to plug in, but reach out to us because we have limited bandwidth. So, and funders, you know the drill. Don't just watch and wait to see how this goes. Please reach out now to learn more and be part of this with us. And whoever you are, come chat with me anytime here at the conference or reach out with my contact info. Just as a final thought, so many of us here have given so much of our time, talent, and our personal security in order to fight for this radical idea of basic income. Activist causes are always self-sacrificial in this way, historically anyway. And burnout is an enormous problem within every movement. Imagine instead a movement that immediately and persistently protects and empowers everyone in it. How much easier would it be to give our time and energy to this work? How many more might join us in it?